परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
बने हम हिंद के योगी, धरेंगे ज्ञान भारत का।
बने हम हिंद के योगी, धरेंगे ज्ञान भारत का।
बने हम हिंद के योगी, धरेंगे ज्ञान भारत का। कर धर्म का झंडा करे उत्थान भारत का।
धर्म का झंडा करे उत्थान भारत का।
बने हम हिंद के योगी, धरेंगे ज्ञान भारत का।
ज्ञान भारत का।
गले में शील की माला,
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 पहन कर ज्ञान की कफनी, कर धर्म का झंडा करे उत्थान भारत का।
उठा कर धर्म का झंडा करे उत्थान भारत का।
बने हम हिंद के योगी, धरेंगे ज्ञान भारत का।
बने हम हिंद के योगी, करेंगे ज्ञान भारत का।
जलाकर कष्ट की होली,
जलाकर कष्ट की होली,
जलाकर कष्ट की होली,
जलाकर कष्ट की होली,
उठाकर इष्ट की झोली,
उठाकर इष्ट की झोली,
जमा कर संत की टोली, करे उत्थान भारत का।
जगा कर संत की टोली, करे उत्थान भारत का।
बने हम हिंद के योगी, धरेंगे ज्ञान भारत का।
बने हम हिंद के योगी, करेंगे ज्ञान भारत का।
स्वरों में तान भारत की,
स्वरों में तान भारत
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
अपने पास है वह धन किसी का है दिया।
जो भी अपने पास है वह धन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
मेरा है यह लेने वाला कह उठा अभिमान से।
मेरा है यह देने वाला मैं उठा अभिमान से।
मेरा यह कहने वाला मन किसी का है दिया।
मेरा यह कहने वाला मन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
धन किसी का है दिया।
धन किसी का है दिया।
चंदन है इस देश की माटी।
चंदन है इस देश की माटी। हर गाँव है तपोभूमि हर गाँव है। हर माला देवी की प्रतिमा। बच्चा बच्चा राम है। बच्चा बच्चा राम है। चंदन है इस देश की माटी।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारि बरनउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायकु फल चारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन बिराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा बिराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा बिकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम बचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
संस्थापकं वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
Jai Sri Krishna. Right from the beginning, I offer my salutations to my esteemed gurus. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. A warm and heartfelt welcome to all esteemed sadhakas. As we embark on the journey of chapter 8, Akshara Brahma Yoga from the Bhagavad Gita, this chapter translates the importance of the eternal nature of the Supreme, the power of devotion, and the significance of remembering God at the time of death to attain liberation. We are blessed to be part of Gita Pariwar, where the eternal wisdom of Gita reaches us seamlessly week after week. I bow to Lord Krishna and seeks blessing from Param Pujya Swami Ji Shri Girigovind Giriji Maharaj. Let us begin the session with a prayer. Let us invoke the blessings of Lord Krishna. Honored to introduce Animurli Ji from Hyderabad, a dedicated teacher and a passionate artist. Serving as a level 1 and level 2 Malayalam co-trainer since March 2024, with deep devotion to Gita's wisdom, she leads us in today's invocation prayer.
जय श्री कृष्ण
Sri Krishna.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण
Jai Sri Krishna. Thank you, Ani Murli Didi. That was a soulful invocation. And with profound respect and gratitude, we invite R.K. Bhardwaj Bhaiya to perform the Deep Prajwalan, symbolizing the light of knowledge that eliminates darkness and ignorance. A seasoned professional with 37 years in supply chain and manufacturing, electronics, engineering, and MBA, Shri Bhardwaj ji has been an inspiring co-trainer with Gita Pariwar since 2022. Bhardwaj Bhaiya.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः
Thank you, Bhardwaj ji, for the soul-enriching moment of reflection from your end. And just a small announcement before we enter into the discourse. Kindly share the Vivechan Satra link with all your near and dear ones. And after this discourse session, you may raise your hands for questions. Kindly switch on your camera so we can spotlight while you speak, if possible. And now we transition to the highly anticipated discourse on Chapter 8, Akshara Brahma Yoga from Geeta, delivered by the esteemed. We are honored to introduce Sri Vikas Vaidya Bhaiya, a highly accomplished and dedicated individual with a bachelor's in mechanical engineering and a postgraduate diploma in business management. He has spent 12 years as an NRI managing a successful IT company in Pune, fluent in multiple foreign languages and native languages. He offers a valuable intellectual and cultural insight. For over 5 years, Vaidya Bhaiya has recited all 18 adhyayas of Gita daily and served as a trainer with Geeta Pariwar, mentoring the students and contributing to trainer selection and training. He also teaches us Vishnu Sahasranam. Sri Vaidya Bhaiya won the first prize in the Geeta Contesta exam awarded by His Holiness Jagat Guru Shankaracharya for his dedication. His commitment to knowledge and spiritual service is truly inspiring. It's a privilege to welcome Sri Vikas Vaidya Bhaiya to guide us today. Bhaiya, I now invite you to take the lead.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि नमन. A warm welcome to all Gita Sadhak. Today we'll conclude 8thCha, Akshar Brahma Yoga, wherein Paramatma is teaching us how to die. As I said in the beginning, the remaining 17 Adhyaya Bhagavad Gita, they teach us how to live the life. This Adhyaya is teaching us how to die, how to live the life. Last time we had covered up to slok number 19. We'll start with slok number 20 now. Slok 20. Parastasmattu bhavonyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yas sarveshu bhuteshu nashyats na vinashyati. Param is transcendental, supreme, tasmat. So that Bhava is nature, Anya is another, Avyakta, manifest, unmanifest, Vyakta is manifest, Avyakta is unmanifest, Avyaktat, to the unmanifest, Sanatanam, eternal, yes, sir, that which Sarveshu Bhuteshu, all manifestations, Nashatsu, being annihilated, destroyed, no, never, and Vinashyati is annihilated, is destroyed. Paramatma says, beyond this unmanifested, that is Brahmadeva's subtle body, there is yet another unmanifested eternal existence. So Brahma's subtle body from which this Srishti takes evolution. Other than unmanifested, there is yet which does not perish even though all beings perish. Sarveshu Kaleshu, Sarveshu Bhuteshu, when they get annihilated, this another unmanifested eternal existence, it does not perish. What is that? Paramatma. Even Brahmadeva perishes. So Parastasmat Bhavonyo Vyakto Vyaktat Sanatanaha. From Shlok 16 to 19, if you remember, God had said that all the worlds, 7 above the earth and 7 below the earth, from the abode of Brahma downwards, are subject to rebirth. But eternal existence is different from them. The word Avyakta stands for the subtle body of Brahmadeva. Because we have learned from Shlok 18 and 19 that all manifest beings emanate from Brahmadeva's subtle body, and again they merge in the same. So beyond Brahmadeva's subtle body, there are two existences. One is the primordial matter and the God. This context pertains to the God, which remains imperishable even when everything gets perished. So unmanifested external existence has been used for God, Paramatma, which does not perish even when all the beings perish. Yasya sarveshu bhuteshu nashyat sunavinashyati. The unmanifested existence never perishes. That is, the God never perishes. Even though all beings perish. In that absolute existence, there is not the least modifications or changes or vikar, while the entire universe is undergoing through all modifications, changes, vikars. But that absolute existence, which is imperishable, it does not undergo any modification any changes or any vikars. So the world, many worlds are getting created and many worlds are getting destroyed. We have learned that when Brahmadeva's day starts, everything comes into existence. When his day ends, everything gets annihilated. So in the whole of Brahmadeva's life, you can imagine how many worlds are getting created and how many worlds are getting destroyed. Even Brahmadeva is subject to appearance and disappearance. So after 311 trillion and 40 billion years, we have seen Brahmadeva's life last time. Just forget about long-term planning in in your life. What will happen to your planning once Brahmadeva's night commences? Everything will go to doom. No? So take the corollary of our dreams. All that your mind sees in dream, all the places, all the sights you see in the dream, all the people you interact with in your dreams, where do they go after you wake up? When the dream ends and you wake up, where those all people who are there in the dream, all the places that you are visiting in your dream, where do they go? Is not that an apocalypse, the annihilation of the world which you had created in your dream? So, like Brahmadeva, you also created your world in the dream. And it also faces the apocalypse when your dream ends and you wake up. Now, hypothetically, say the people whom you see in your dreams insisted on continuing to exist even when you wake up. You are seeing some people in your dream and they insist that I want to come in reality even when you wake up and enter into your real life. If they insist like that, is it possible? The characters you see in the dream, can they enter into your real life? Is that possible? In fact, the moment the dreamer wakes up, this entire dream world vanishes at that very moment. So in a way, we can say that the entire world is Ishvara's dream. This Srishti, what we are seeing around, is God's dream. And we are all no more the real characters, but are the dream characters of Paramatma. Paramatma is having the dream. We are the real, dream characters of Paramatma. We are not real. But we insist on adhering to our false identity and thus keep on getting entangled and involved in all sorts of mind games and ego games. We are only characters in Paramatma's dreams. However, the dream of Ishvara ends and he wakes up and the dream world vanishes in a moment. Like our characters of the dream vanish when we wake up, similarly when Ishvara wakes up, his dream world ends, vanishes in a moment. But how strongly we hold on to our false I. And what are we in reality? What is this I? What are we in reality? We are nothing. Absolutely nothing. After all, how many people know us in our mohalla, in our street, in our society, in our city? How many people know you in India? How many people know you in the world? And then how many people know you in the universe? And then how many people know you in the galaxy? If you start going up and up, then you will realize that we are insignificant. We are a nobody. We are nothing. So who you are? At the level of body, you are nothing. And you are nothing at the level of mind and intellect also. That is why disengage your identity from your body, your mind, and your intellect. The body, mind, intellect is impure, transient, and inert. It is transient, no? Today it is there, tomorrow may not be there. The real I, on the other hand, is truth. The soul is the truth. Paramatma is the truth. So the real I, on the other hand, is truth, bliss, and sentient. Remember, this pure I does not become tainted impure by admixing with the body, mind, and intellect. It remains as it is. It always remains pristine. See, even if you think, if you say think of mixing in pure gold, say some bronze or some copper, goldsmith do that, no? We know it. Although it may seem as if it has been amalgamated very properly. So the person seeing that gold cannot imagine that it has some content of bronze or copper. But the goldsmith can readily isolate the pure gold from the impure stuff, isn't it? And this is what exactly Shri Krishna is saying in this shloka. The Supreme Parabrahma remains transcendental to the manifest and unmanifest. Whether the worlds are created or destroyed, it makes no difference whatsoever to the eternal Parabrahma. It remains as it is. Moving to the next shloka, 21. अव्यक्तोऽक्षर इत्युक्तस्तमाहुः परमां गतिम् यं प्राप्य न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम paramam mama. Tadhama paramam mama. Paramatma is giving his address to us. That is my place of residence. You are most cordially invited. Tadhama paramam mama. Sri Krishna now explains that the perishable beings, after attaining imperishable, do not return. Perishable beings, if they are successful in attaining that imperishable, eternal, supreme, then they don't return to this mortal world. Avyaktoksara ityuktastamahu paramangatim yam prapya nanivardante tadhama paramam mama. Yam prapya is to attain. Nanivardate, not to return. So Paramatma says that which is described as imperishable, unmanifest essence is deemed the highest goal. That is the Paramgati. And those beings who reach there never return back. That is my supreme abode, Tadhama Paramam Mama. That is where I stay. That is my place of residence. I invite you there so that you don't go back again. Avyakta, unmanifested, Akshara, the infallible, imperishable, Iti thus, Ukta is said, Anu is known, Param, the ultimate, Gatin, destination. When somebody passes away, we say, उनको शायद परमात्मा परम गति दे. परम गति means that destination, final supreme destination. Yam, which prapya is to attain, to gain, nivartate, to come back, na nivartate, not to come back. Tata, that dham, place of residence, abode, paramam mama, my supreme place of residence, that is the place of residence of mind. So that which is described as imperishable, unmanifest, which is deemed the highest goal, Paramgati. And those beings who reach there never return back, none ever. That is my supreme abode. So the God is inviting us to his supreme abode. He is giving us his address to us. You can put on Google map and go to him, which is untouched by death and destruction. Everything else gets annihilated, but that place is untouched by death or by destruction. That which cannot be pierced by any weapon, that which cannot be burned by fire, that which cannot be submerged by water, which cannot be eliminated by death, that eternal truth, please, Supreme Chaitanya, is my real essence. That is my real identity. This is what Paramatma is saying. But if we consider the teaching that we have learned in Adhyaya 2, these are exactly the same characteristics of our soul. Naina chindanti shastrani nainandati pavaka na chedan kledeyantyapho na shosheti marutaha. And Paramatma is almost giving you the same characteristics of his place of residence. Then is the God saying that our soul is his Paramdham? That is where he stays. So Gita shlokas are wonderful for meditational point of, from the meditational point of view. Take this one thread. When Paramatma says Tadhama Paramam Mama, which is that place. When Paramatma says that place which cannot be pierced by weapon, that cannot be burned by fire, that cannot be submerged by water, that cannot be eliminated by death, then the same characteristics are there of our soul also. So is that Paramdham. We can take this thought in our meditation someday, and then truly we can reach the Paramdham. At least we will come to know where Paramatma stays. Thus, if you aspire to reach this transcendental destination, Paramgati, then there is no alternative but to practice the appropriate yoga, Ashtanga yoga, with bhakti, what Paramatma has taught us in this adhyaya. There is no alternative. But then this practice should be with persistent and constant preservations. And this needs to be supplemented with dispassion. dispassion and equanimity. Because samatma yoga uchyate is the base of Bhagavad Gita. Equanimity. Equanimity in thoughts, equanimity in our behavior with all others. So dispassion and equanimity is to be followed. Equanimity and equanimity of our senses, our mind. Senses should not be attached to the sensory objects. Mind should not be attached to the people or the material world. Intellect should be distilled and pranayam should be perfected. Because you have to put your pranayam here, prana here, no? Guru or madhya. So pranayam should be perfected. Only then you can enter the world of meditation. So these are the prerequisites of entering into meditation. But we must remember that these are just the prerequisites of meditation, and this is not meditation itself. Meditation is still away. We are making ourselves worthy of entering into meditation by following these rules which Paramatma is explaining us. If we practice these teachings given in this adhyay by Paramatma properly, then there is a distinct possibility that over a period of time, it can take us to the meditation. If you fulfill the prerequisites of meditation, we can one day enter into meditation. But we have to follow these prerequisites first. If you directly start into meditation, you will not enter into meditation. See, if someone who does not know English alphabets, ABCD, if he is asked to read, say, Shakespeare, is it possible? He does not know ABCD, and you are giving him a book of Shakespeare to read. Is it possible? Someone who does not know the basic elementary mathematics, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, he does not know this, he cannot understand the advanced mathematics, differential calculus and integral calculus. Can you understand? Impossible. Likewise, those who are desirous of entering the state of meditation need to understand that first they will have to clear the elementary levels. That is, what are the elementary levels? Perfection of body, perfection of senses, perfection of mind, and perfection of prana. So perfecting body, senses, mind, and prana is the prerequisites of entering into meditation. See, God is omniscient, Sarvajnani. And though Jiva is his fragment, Mame Vansho, our Jiva is inflicted with disease of ignorance. As it gets too much attached to the body, mind, thus it has to take the necessary medicines for eradication of that ignorance, which is cultivating. Yogasana is a medicine. Satsanga is a medicine. Observing silence is a medicine. And moderation in all that we do, including eating, sleeping, talking, is also a medicine. Yukta ahara viharasya yukta teshtasya karmasu, that Atma Yoga of 6th Adhyay, Paramatma is saying this. Thus, it is only when you do all that is needed, will it become possible for you to meditate upon that imperishable, unmanifest, pure essence, Paramatma. The one who will meditate upon this transcendental essence, what will he find? If you are successful in crossing all these prerequisites and you enter into meditation, what will you get? You will find Shri Krishna. In meditation, you will find Shri Krishna. But it is not the Shri Krishna that we see in the photo, with the flute in his hand, smiling face, not that Shri Krishna. That Shri Krishna is a physical body. The Shri Krishna, what we will get in our meditation is infinite, eternal Krishna, the Chaitanya Parabrahm, that we'll get in our meditation. Moving on to Slok 22. Now Shri Krishna says in this shloka that imperishable Parabrahma can be attained by exclusive devotion. Purushasya parah partha bhaktya labhyaspananyaya yasyandasthani bhutani yena sarvamidam tatam. Arjuna, the Supreme Lord within whom all beings abide and who pervades everything. Sarvamidam tatam. He pervades everything. That Supreme Purush is attained by uninterrupted, unwavering bhakti, devotion. So what is bhakti or upasana? Upasana means sitting by the side of. That is the meaning of upasana, word to word, upasana. Upasana, sitting by the side. Thus, bhakti would mean sitting by the side of God. Upasana. So I am sitting by the side of God. That is bhakti. And God is imperishable, indestructible. That is what we have learned. Hence, destruction of your mind is being, and that is being in the state of no mind. Destruction of mind means no thoughts in the mind, the state of no mind. That is what is sitting close to the God. Making the mind thoughtless is what it means sitting next to the God. How can a mind which is perpetually engrossed in thoughts lead to the God? If different thoughts are going in your mind, how can you reach the God? How can you focus, concentrate on God? You have to make your mind as no mind. God can be attained only through thoughtlessness. Thoughtlessness of mind is a must for attaining the God. The mind in normal condition is the world, and no mind is the way to get the God. Darshan, anubhuti of God is possible only in sheer silence of mind. If mind is crowded with so many thoughts, how can you take anubhuti, darshan of God? That is why Kabir would always say, move from mind to no mind. Silence this mind. He went to the extent of saying that kill this mind. To silence this mind. The one who is really keen on silencing his mind will neither praise or nor defame anybody. Moreover, you should also keep away from those who praise you or who slander you. This may be difficult in the beginning because we are used to gossiping about someone or the other. It is our habit. You need someone to share your views about others. When two friends meet, they talk about the third person. This is normal habit. Thus, you laud someone and badmouth someone else. We need to get out of this foolishness. We must remember that it is only when we get ourselves free from all dualities, anurag, dvesh, dualities, that we can attain the unwavering devotion into the God. No attachment for anyone, no aversion for anyone. So this is the teaching. But for getting this teaching, we may have to go to a guru. To find a guru is also a task for us. If you have a guru, he will also teach you the same thing, what Gita is preaching us. But who is a guru? And what are his qualifications? If you find a guru, then try to emulate his life. Try to find out what his daily routine is, what time he wakes up, what does he do every single minute of the day. Try to copy that routine. Try to emulate his lifestyle. A small story. A person has written this. He says, the day I got back from my postgraduate degree, I did not waste a minute. I rushed back to my village, Ausgram, that is in West Bengal, to become a teacher. Yes, I had higher salary offers from the schools in bigger towns. But for me, the salary offered in that school of that village was only rupees 169, 169. That was offered to me by my village school. That meant a lot for me. I was very keen to teach the students from my own village who needed a good teacher the most. So I had love for my village and I joined their school, which was giving me a salary of 169 rupees. I taught in my school for 39 long years and retired at the age of 60. But my mind was still very restless. I did not want to retire. And I kept asking myself, what should I do now after retirement? A few days later, I found the answer to my question. One morning, at say around 6:30, I saw three young girls walking towards my house. I was shocked when they told me that they had cycled for over 23 kilometers to come to my house to see the teacher who has already retired. They were young tribal girls who were desperate to learn. With folded hands, they asked me, Master Ji, will you teach us? I immediately agreed and said, I can teach you, but you will have to pay my school fees for the whole year. are you ready to pay the fees? They said, yes, Masterji, we'll manage to arrange money somehow. So I said, okay, my fee is rupee 1 rupee for the whole year. They were so happy. They hugged me and said, we will pay you 1 rupee and in addition, we will give you 4 chocolates also. I was elated. I felt like I had got a new reason to live. So the life which was directionless got a definite direction. So after that left, I changed my clothes and went straight back to my school and requested the principal to give me a classroom to teach these tribal girls. But the principal refused to help me. He said, you are already retired, I can't allow you. However, I was not going to stop now. After teaching for 39 years, I still had a lot of energy left to teach. So after coming back home, I cleaned my veranda and decided to start teaching in that veranda. That was in the year 2004. My school had started with these 3 tribal girls, and today we have 350 girls, students, most of them young tribal girls. On the request of my students, I increased my fee by 1 more rupee. So now it is 2 rupees per year. My day still starts at 6 o'clock in the morning with a walk around the village, and then I open my doors to the incoming students. Some girls walk for more than 20 kilometers to come to my school. I always feel that I have a lot to learn from those tribal girls, how dedicated they are to get education. Over the years, my students have become professors, heads of departments, IT professionals. They always call me and give me the good news about their success. And as I ask them to bring me some chocolates. You got to success now? Then give me some chocolates. And when I got Padma Shri Award, my phone did not stop ringing. My whole village celebrated with me. It was a very, very happy day in my life. But I did not allow my students to bunk the class even on that day. The doors of my school are open for everybody. Anyone can come anytime to visit my school. Our village is very beautiful and all my students' future is also very bright. I'm sure we can learn all of us can learn a lot from these students. That is my story. That fellow said. That is my story. I am a simple teacher from West Bengal who enjoys his tea and evening naps. I have not completed lifestyle. The main attraction of my life is that people call me Master Moshai. Moshai is a Bengali word, Master Moshai. I want to teach until my last breath. That is what I was sent to the world for. What a feeling he had. This is the story of an ideal personality, a selfless teacher. His name is Shri Sujit Chattopadhyay. He is 77 years of age now, 77 years school teacher, popularly known as Master Moshai. He has been working tirelessly for decades to spread education, especially among the tribal students who are poor. He was conferred with Padma Shri Award by the President in November 2021. See, this is what has changed when the new government has come in India. Otherwise, earlier, before Modi ji came, the governments were freely giving Padma Shri and Padma Bhushan to some Khans in Bollywood who have nothing to do with the social service, who never were have a very ideal character to be followed. Modi ji knows who are worthy of these Padma Shri awards. He has picked up these people. Now these awards are being given to the people who really deserve this and are engaged in social work without any expectation. This person, Mr. Chattopadhyay, has dedicated his entire life in preparing ideal citizens for the bright future of the country. His exceptional integrity and empathy deserves the nation's sincere salute. He is one of the unsung heroes of India. Efforts deserve to be lauded nationwide for him. There are many such unsung heroes in India, in this world also, who have dedicated their lives to others and to serve the society. They are the gurus, without any selfishness or any expectations. People like him are needed today to make this world more compassionate and more beautiful. All of us need to recognize them in our society. They may be around us, but we don't know them. When we look for them with an open heart and open mind, we'll find them right in front of us. A true guru never asks for anything from his disciples, from his shishyas. In fact, the gurus exist only to serve the humanity. They are not there to take, but they are here to give. That is Guru. Continuing with Slok 23. Yatra kale tvanavratyam avratyai chaiva yoginaha prayata yanti tankalam vakshyami bharadarshava. If you remember in Slok 16, Paramatma has said, Sri Krishna has explained that all the worlds from the Brahma Loka onwards are subject to return. A Brahma Bhuvan Loka punaravartita dina. Mama Petita Kanti Punarjama Navid. So from Brahma Loka downwards, all the worlds are subject to return. But on attaining him, there is no rebirth. Mama Petita Kanti Punarjama Navidyate. But he did not explain in that sloka the time, the path when they do not return, and also the path or the time when they return. Some people return, some people don't return. So what is the path? Which path people follow to return and which path they follow not to return? That is not explained. Now, Sri Krishna is starting that topic in these slokas. He says, now I will explain to you, I will advise to you, O best of Bharatas, Bharatarshava, the time or the path when yogis leave their bodies never to return, and also the path when they depart to return. So two paths are there. After death, some jivas will be reborn where the others won't. Some get rebirth, some won't. Whether they will be subject to rebirth depends on their time of death. Two paths and timing. That is what is being explained in this shloka and the next two shlokas. Now we did not have say in the time of our birth, isn't it? We did not decide when we will take birth. Neither did we have any choice where we will get born and to which set of parents will get born. We had no control on the nakshatras. What is nakshatra? Nakshatra is the astrological term referring to the one of the 27 houses the moon passes through in its orbit around the earth. So 27 nakshatras are there, and the travel of moon around the earth decides what nakshatra is there. So which nakshatra we are born? We have no control over that. And this is very important because it has a great astrological bearing in which nakshatra you are born. There are some nakshatras in which only yogis are born. Bhogis cannot be born in the prime nakshatras. The nakshatras you are born exerts tremendous influence on your entire life, including your looks, your intelligence, your attitude, your aptitude. Some nakshatras are rajasic, some are tamasic, and some are sattvic. But it is not straightforward like I say now. Because one degree the nakshatra is rajasic, but the next degree it becomes tamasic, and so on. It is a very complex science. The way you are is decided by the complex interaction of diverse factors. Where and when you were born, your body, your mind, your intellect, your disposition, everything is propelled by your previous karmas. See, many of us have performed experiments with magnets in our schools in 7th standards. When you run the magnet atop a bunch of iron nails, they are all lifted by the magnetic force. There are some iron nails and you move magnet over them, they all get lifted up because of the magnetic force. And once the magnet is removed away, the nails drop down to their original position. The nails have no choice where to go. The magnet will decide where they will go. They have no say over the magnetic force and its effect. The entire game is of the magnet, not of the nail. Similarly, the entire game of our life is of our mind. And the magnet of karmic law bestows the consequences of our auspicious and inauspicious karmas performed under the directive of our mind. Thus, sometimes your mind will lift up you up in the life, and other times it will make you fall down. That is the veritable truth. Your mind decides whether you will go up, whether you will go down. In fact, if you reach a guru, there is also a result of your previous karma. Sattvic, auspicious karma that has now given you a result, and you go to a guru. Furthermore, when the time of fructification of inauspicious karma will arrive, the same guru will become unappealing to your mind. So when the auspicious karma fructifies, you go to a guru. But when a strong inauspicious karma fructifies, you start losing interest in guru. That is the law of karma. So how many karmas we have done till now? Let alone this life, in previous life. You repeat your previous life also. In this life itself, how many karmas we have done? Do you have any inkling of the karmas you have done in this lifetime? Knowingly or unknowingly, you have hurt many people. Knowingly or unknowingly, you have lied. You have aided others' property, their gains, isn't it? And on the top of that, there are those who do not have any spiritual guidance at all. So people under spiritual guidance, at least they have some conscious left in their mind. But people who do not have any spiritual guidance also, they are free. They will keep on committing inauspicious things every day, every minute, every second. Such misguided people keep on carrying out all kinds of nefarious activities, evil acts, as we read in newspapers. Newspaper is full of such negative news only these days. Knifing someone for a mere 50 rupees, or the son killing the father for his wealth. These are the news coming in newspapers. A friend killing another friend for some silly argument. So these people who do not have any spiritual guidance, they are committing this kind of crimes day in and day out. Thus, if by virtue of a previous auspicious karma, if you get to be in the company of a sage, a guru, or say Gita Pariwar, then guard it carefully. As a person who has won a lottery will guard his lottery ticket, guard this relationship. Make most of this wonderful opportunity. Learn wholeheartedly. Practice with a firm resolve and pray to the Almighty that this good fortune of being in this good situation prevails forever. My connection with Gita Pariwar remains forever. My contact, my relationship with my Guru remains forever. That is why a devotee constantly prays to the Almighty. Oh Lord, I don't know when my intellect will get deluded. मेरा दिमाग कब घूम जाएगा मुझे पता नहीं है. My intellect will get deluded and it will lead me to astray. Just keep an eye on me and keep on guiding and looking after me so that I can continue to tread on this path with full conviction. Once you have given me this path, I'm sincerely trying to tread on this path, but it is human mind. So please help me that my mind sticks to this path only. Bless me with your grace, O Lord, that I do not even get separated from my spiritual practices without succumbing to any kind of lethargy in my life. Lord, may I always treasure your divine grace and never ever forget to be in your remembrance. This is the prayer we should have. So this prayerfulness should become a daily habit of ours. Continuing with Shlok 24. Agnirjyotirah shukla shanmasa uttarayanam tatra prayada gachanti brahma vido janaha. In this shloka, Sri Krishna describes the path of yogis who depart never to return. So this is the path, one-way traffic. They leave from this path and they do not return. In the path in which the deities preside over the effulgent fire, Agni, the daylight. How is daylight? The bright fortnight, Shukla Paksha, Chanmasa, the 6 months, Chanmasa Uttarayan, the 6 months of northern solstice. Then depart after death, the knowers of Parabrahma finally reach Parabrahma, the supreme destination. So this is the path of light. Agni Jyotirah Shukla Shanmasa Uttarayanam. In the bright path, first of all, there is the rite of the fire god. Fire gives light at night, and that light works for a shorter distance. and for a short time. Then the daylight works for a longer distance and longer time. That is day. A bright fortnight, Shukla Paksha, is the night of means. The light of this bright fortnight called Shukla Paksha remains for a very long distance and for many days, 15 days. The northern path of the sun is for 6 months, Uttarayanam, and is equal to a day of gods. The light in the northern path remains for a very long distance and a very long time, 6 months. And sun is the deity of Uttarayan. Uttar is north and Ayan is the movement. Uttarayan movements towards north. Really Dakshinayan movement towards Dakshin, towards south. Uttarayan movement towards north. When the sun starts moving towards the north, this path is called Prakasha Marga. This period is typically in India 22nd of December to 21st of June. That is the Uttarayan. Tatta prayada gachanti brahma brahmavido janaha. Those who pass along this bright path first go to the territory of the fire god. We saw the sequence. Fire god, day, Shukla Paksha, Uttarayan. So these jivas who leave this body, they first pass along the bright path, first go to the territory of the fire god. Then the fire god hands them over to the god of the day. After they have crossed the fire god's territory, they are handed over to the god of the day. Similarly, the god of the day hands them over to the gods of the bright fortnight, gods of the Shukla Paksha. And then he hands them over to the god of northern course of sun, Uttarayan. And then he hands them over to the god of the abode of the Brahma. They are thus liberated and they attain the god. Here the word Brahmavida has been used for those who know the Parabrahma. Brahmavid, Vid is to know. Those who have not known Parabrahma, they are Brahmavida. And not those for those who have realized him. If they had realized him, they only know Parabrahma. They have not realized him. If they had realized him, they would have been liberated souls. They would not have gone to the abode of Brahmadeva. They would have gone straight to the Parabrahma. Such souls get liberated along with Brahmadeva when there is final dissolution. So they are going to the Brahma Loka, and Brahmadeva also perishes. Along with Brahmadeva, they also get merged in the Paramatma. At the completion of the age of Brahmadeva, which we saw 311 trillion and 40 billion years, when there is final dissolution, then the pure-hearted persons attain the supreme goal with Brahmadeva. Thus the path of this Prakash Marga is fire, day, Shukla Paksha, Uttarayan, Brahma Loka, and Supreme God. That is the path. In salvation by stages, the abode of Brahmadeva is just like a station on the way. They take a stopover at that station where only the persons craving for pleasures alight. But those who have no craving for pleasures do not alight there. As if we have no purpose on that way, there may be a station or a jungle. What difference does it make to us? Many stations pass through. Do we get down at every station? No. But we must know that besides this gross world, there are other planes and subtler realms of existence. One such subtle realm is running parallel with this gross world. We are not aware of it, but it does. And within this subtle realm, there are some planes where yogis and jnanis live. Although they have relinquished their gross bodies, they still retain their subtle bodies, their sukshma sharir. And the only reason they do so is to assist and come to the aid of struggling devotees. At times, one gets to hear of an ordinary person suddenly reciting the entire Gita, or say Vishnu Sahasranam suddenly, or some such other scripture. Or a worldly person abruptly becomes a sannyasi suddenly. Such baffling incidents are not unheard of. We hear of such incidents many times. A sage once narrated an incident that happened to him when he was on pilgrimage to Amarnath. After walking for a while, he got tired and he decided to rest under a tree. No sooner he did lay down than he heard someone saying to him, what are you doing here? He immediately opened his eyes and found an unknown bearded man standing in front of him. He told the man that he was resting because his body was tired. The man tapped on his forehead at the midpoint between the eyebrows, Duror Madhye. And such was the electric effect of that touch, which the sage could not express in words. He felt as if he has entered his body, his own body. He has entered his own body. And even more amazingly, he was seeing each and every organ of his body. Are we seeing each and every organ of our body? We are not seeing. But he entered his own body. That is the feeling he got. That he entered into his own body and he is observing all his organs, every tissue from a very close quarter. After some time, according to that sage, maybe an hour or so, he said maybe an hour or so, he got up feeling perplexed with what has happened, but at the same time, he felt highly rejuvenated. So he decided to carry on his journey, but to his surprise, he could not see any other person, any other pilgrims on the way. In fact, the whole path was deserted except for a lone shepherd. So he asked that shepherd, where everyone else? So many people are walking with me. No, I find no one here. Where is everyone gone? Everybody has gone. And why the place looks so abandoned? The shepherd replied, well, what else do you expect in the month of December? The path is closed for winter now. The sage was shocked to hear that this is the month of December because he started walking in the month of June. And when he rested, it was the month of June. A good 6 months had elapsed while the sage kept lying under the tree. He said that his entire life changed after that incident. He did not know who that man was who tapped on his Bror Madhye and made him go into that Samadhi sort of thing. But ever since that day, his spiritual life took a turn for the better. He found that he could easily sit in appropriate asanas. He can do pratyahar. He can do yam, niyam, dhyan, dharana, meditation. He started to get all kinds of wonderful and interesting spiritual experiences in his sadhana. Thus, know that there are many subtler planes existing at this very moment. We are not aware. We are completely unaware of their existence, but they do exist. Reverting back to this shloka, shloka 24, Sri Krishna says, sun is the deity of Uttarayan. The next 6 months of northern solstice and the yogis and jnanis who leave their bodies in this auspicious period ultimately attain supreme Parabrahm. But this is for the yogis, not for ordinary people. Ordinary people also die in Uttarayan, but will they attain Paramatma? No, this rule is only for yogis who have controlled their mind and senses. Continue to Shlok 25. Now this is the path of darkness, which Paramatma will explain. The path on which the yogis go, they depart, but they return. So this is a two-way traffic. Go and come back. Dhumo ratre sada krishna shanmasa dakshinayanam tatra chandramase jyotir yogi prapya nivartate. In the path in which God presides over smoke, dhum is smoke, ratri, night, tatha krishna shanmasa, the dark fortnights, krishna paksha. Two pakshas are there, shukla paksha and krishna paksha. The shukla paksha was the path of light. This krishna paksha is the path of darkness, dark fortnight. And shanmasa dakshinayana, the 6 months of southern solstice. Then traversing through the yogi after death catches the lunar light, Chandramasai, and he returns to the mortal world. Yogi prapya nivartate. He comes back. So, Dhumoratista Krishna Shanmasa Dakshinayanam Tatra Chandramasai Jyotir Yogi prapya nivartate. In the dark path, the god of smoke hands over those who pass along that path to the god of night, Ratri. When they have crossed his territory. Similarly, the god of night hands them over to the god of dark fortnight, Krishna Paksha, who hands them over to the god of southern solstice, Dakshinayan. Typically, Dakshinayan in India starts 21st of June to 22nd of January. He further hands them over to the god of lunar light, Chandramasai. Then they attain the divine world, such as heavens, etc. Then after enjoying pleasure as a fruit of their merit and virtues, they have to return. The moon is the deity of Dakshinayan. So the path is smoke, night, Krishna Paksha, Dakshinayan, Chandraloka, and again come back to the mortal world. This is the second path. The Chandraloka mentioned here is not near our moon. It is far, far, far away, even further away than the sun also. That is Chandraloka. Here the dark path stands for the higher worlds. Dark path does not mean it is very bad. Dark word may connote that this is a bad path. It is not so. It is also a part of the higher world. It has been called dark because it is darker than the bright path. Krishna Paksha and Shukla Paksha. So that is the only difference. It is not dark as the word dark usually means. Ordinary people are born in the mortal world. After the death, sinners go to the demonic wombs, while of sinners to the great sinners, they go to the hell. Thus, those who pass along the dark path are far, far, far superior than those who take the demonic birth or those who go to hell. Because this path is better and brighter than other paths which lead to the cycle of birth and death. This path also leads to birth and death, but it is much, much, much superior than that. Now, how the jivas return back to the mortal world after they spend a lot of time in that Chandramasai Chandraloka or heavens, they have to come back. How do they come back? While returning from the dark path, the soul first comes into the sky, Akash. Then from Akash, it goes to the clouds. Then to the clouds through the air, it goes to the clouds. And through rains, it enters the grains. And through grain, it enters the male, the semen of the male and the ovum of the female. And when the male and female come together, it takes the birth. That soul gets the body. That is, acquires a new body. Thus, it follows the wheel of birth and death. Die, go up, stay there for a long period of time, come back through this route of sky, cloud, rain, grain, semen, ovum, and coming to conceptuation, coming to the new body. Moon is the deity of our mind. We know Chandra is the deity of our mind. And astrologically speaking, those individuals whose moon is not situated in appropriate place in their horoscope, they suffer mental disturbances. This is what the astrologers say. And they are prone to mental imbalances sometimes. Such people are miserable. They are worried. They are agitated. They are sad. And can even prone to madness or commit suicide. But there is no need to worry if your moon is in the wrong place. There are ways. Simply keep chanting the mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. The moon is in the service of Lord Shiva. If you chant this person's name, Lord Shiva, the bad effect gets reduced. But the problem is that the one whose mind is disturbed and agitated will rarely agree to carry out the practice in the first place. He may be advised, chant Om Namah Shivaya, but his mind is disturbed, agitated. He will listen to your advice, but will not follow it. His mind won't allow. That is why it is said that inexplicable are the ways of our law of karma. If one is destined to bear the fruit of previous inauspicious karma, it is the force of karmic law that no matter what, the person will have to face the consequences. He will keep on getting advices, but he may not accept those advices. Those inauspicious karma will not allow him to accept your advices, however good they may be. So these actions for which the fruit is punishment will throw off balance. Then no matter what, the karmic law will ensure that the person does not reach the temple, thinks of something else when he asks to do Nama Japa, does not reach the Guru even when the Guru is just next door. But the people are so deluded that they do not think twice before carrying out all kinds of immoral or unrighteous acts. And when they have to bear the consequences of their own misdeeds, they start blaming the God for their miseries in life. But why should we bring God in all this? What does he have to do anything with all this? It is our karmas which are paying us. As we have learned during the earlier slokas, millions of worlds are created and destroyed in Brahmadeva's one day and one night. How long is that? That we have discussed. So whether someone is born or killed or is in suffering, how does that make any difference to Brahmadeva? Billions of people are getting created, billions of people are dying in his one day and one night. Will you start thinking about every individual? How does it matter to him? And when it does not make any difference to Brahmadeva, why will it make any difference to the Paramatma? Almighty Paramatma. So to recapitulate this shloka, Sri Krishna says, those who leave their bodies in the described period of time, that is the Dakshinayan, they attain the lunar light, Chandramasai. Now moon is the symbol of coolness also. Moon is cool, no? So it is a symbol of coolness also. Thus it means that the mind of such people remains cool, calm, collected. After enjoying the heavenly bliss for a long period of time, they are reborn in this world. And how they are reborn, that process we have seen. Continuing with next shloka, 26. Now this one shloka, 26 and the next, conclude the discussion on these two paths, Uttarayan and Dakshinayan, the path of bright light and the path of darkness. शुक्लकृष्णे गतीहेते जगदशाश्वते मते एकया यत्यनावृत्तिम् अन्यया वर्तते पुनः. Krishna says, these two paths, Uttarayan and Dakshinayan, the bright and the dark, are considered to be the world's eternal path. Proceeding by one, a man has not to return, while taking the other path, he has to return. Shukla Krishna Gati Yete Jagada Shashvate Mati. All creatures, according to their actions or by grace of God, sometime or the other, receive this incomparable, magnificent gift of human life. And then according to the actions performed in this human life, they go higher, they go middle, or they go to low regions. In 14th Adhyay, we have learned this. Gunatrayi Bhag Yoga. Urdhvam gachanti satvastha, madhye tishtanti rajasaha, jaganniguna adho gachanti tamasaha. So these three destinations are in our hands. Our karmas will decide whether we will go up, we remain at this middle level, or we further go down. Now it depends upon them as to what path they take for themselves. To which path they qualify themselves. Urdhva, middle, or Gachanti, Adhogati. As long as the main attach importance to the perishable objects of the world and have desire for them, they can go to the lower region. So a striver should always be alert and cautious. He should never attach importance to the perishable things of the world and should never hate anyone, because that person whom you hate is also a fragment of God. And by hating him, you are hating God. As Krishna says, yoga is imperishable. The two paths described, Uttara and Dakshina, these two paths, thus far are imperishable and eternal. Jagata Shashvate Mate. The merit of knowing these two paths is now explained in next few shlokas by Krishna. Slok 27. Naite sruti parthajanan yogi muhyati kaschana tasmat sarveshu kaleshu yoga yukto bhavarjuna. Krishna says, knowing these two paths of Uttarayan and Dakshinan, path of bright light and path of darkness, Partha, no yogi is deluded. Once you know about these two paths, no yogi is deluded. Therefore, Arjuna always gets established in yoga and become a yogi. Tasmat yogi bhava Arjuna. The Lord is talking about those yogis who, while alive, know these two paths after the death. Which paths they will take after the death. Such a yogi lives his life wisely, being fully aware of his fate after death. He knows these two paths. Now we also have understood these two paths. So we should change our lifestyle now. See, there are some people who shrug off this discussion, who dismiss all this. They say, who knows what will happen after death? So why should we worry about what will happen after death and thereafter and all that? खाओ पियो ऐश करो जिंदगी में लिए for enjoying. These people say we can only see this tangible world. Beyond this world is there, we don't know, we cannot see that world. So how to believe something which we have not seen? And hence we are all interested only in living this life to the hilt, enjoying all the sensory pleasures. When such people can go ahead, no problem. They can go ahead with their own lifestyle, their own thinking. Nobody stops them and do what they please. But they should not blame anyone or anything else for their miseries and mishaps in the life. They are creating by themselves. Pitama Bhishma had a boon of leaving his body at will, Ichha Maran, and thus he could not he could have exercised that choice at any time of leaving the body. Towards the end of Mahabharata war, Bhishma was lying down on the bed of arrows, his body bleeding and in obvious pain. Arjuna was distressed to see his guru lying like this, his Pitama lying like this. He went close to Pitama Bhishma and asked him why he was not leaving his body. You have Ichhamaran boon, leave this body and go. This is intense pain you are suffering. Pitama Bhishma replied, this is the period of Dakshinayan, and I will relinquish this body only in the period of Uttarayan, because I do not want to be reborn again. I want to follow the path when there is no return. You can see only the sufferings of my body, Arjuna, but not my mind, which abides in sheer joy. My body suffering, but my mind is enjoying, because I know I am going to a place from where there is no return. So my mind is very happy. Body suffering, okay. See the caliber, the stature of such highly accomplished yogis who have control on when the prana exit their body. And contrast this with our situation, wherein we keep willing that prana should never leave our body. Yet the prana leave our body, someday or the other, against our wishes. Small story. Okay. Not too long ago, there was sage in UP who relinquished his body after formally announcing the day and the time to all his followers, that this time, this day, I'm going to leave my body. After the daily kirtan on that day, he sat down in Siddhasan to follow the said procedure of voluntarily relinquishing the body. But all of a sudden, he opened his eyes and he announced that the said process of leaving the body will be delayed by another 10-15 minutes, saying that he again became silent. Just then, a Shishya of his from a far off place, he came running desperately, wanting to ask the sage some important questions. Not aware all that had occurred before his arrival, that Shishya, he paid his obeisances, namaskaram to his guru, sat by the sage's feet, and put his urgent queries, which the sage graciously answered. After inquiring whether there are any more questions, any more queries to be answered, to be addressed, the sage again announced that now is the time to leave the body. He again sat in Siddhasan, closed all the 9 gates of the body, Sarvadvarani Sanyamya, which we have learnt in this adhyay, consolidated his prana, brought it to the Bhror Madhye, took it up to the top of the head, Brahmarandra, and he left his body in front of hundreds and thousands of his disciples. His body was taken in that posture, Siddhasan only, in a celebratory procession and immersed in the river Ganga. This is astounding indeed. He had taken care of all arrangements beforehand, organizing and overseeing everything before he left his body, including distributing his books. The pen he used, he gave it to some of his disciples. This is my pen, you use it now. These are my books, give some books here, there, and all that. He had few scriptures and such mastery that he relinquished his body only when he wanted to. Salutations to such yogis who still exist in India. They have graced the earth, they have graced our country, and for whom life and death is just a play. We take life and death very, very seriously, unnecessarily. If we learn this, that how yogis take life and death as a mere play, such elevated souls keep showering their blessings on everyone. Such accomplished yogis, if we find one, as our Pujya Swamiji is, we should call ourselves very, very lucky. Continuing with the last sloka of this adhyaya now, concluding. Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarva vidam viditva yogi param sthanmupaiti chadyam. All the fruits of the meritorious action that are stated in the scriptures resulting from the practice of yoga, practice of tapascharya, study of Vedas, performance of yajnas, performance of charitable acts, daneshu. The yogi transcends all the karma phalas of all these auspicious activities and attains the highest primordial abode. The knowledge that Paramatma has given in this adhyaya, it surpasses the karma phalas of all these Vedeshu, Yajneshu, Tapasu and Daneshu. Such is the great importance of this knowledge of its adhyaya, Akshar Brahma Yoga. Because in this adhyaya, Paramatma has taught us how to die, how to leave this body. The karma phala, the phala of this adhyaya knowledge, it surpasses Vedeshu, Yajneshu, Tapasu and Daneshu. All their punya phala is transgress, is crossover. See, one would expect a yogi to experience the fruit of all his acts of merit that he carries out in his life. That he will carry all his meritorious acts with him. But such is the magnanimity of highly evolved yogis, beings, that it is said that when they leave their bodies, they distribute all their fruits of meritorious activities to their devotees. They don't take anything. They distribute the fruits of their meritorious activities to their devotees, to their disciples, to their shishyas. During life, they keep on endeavoring to avoid, to alleviate the darkness, ignorance that envelops ordinary people. They keep on showering their grace and love for the spiritual upliftment of masses. And when they relinquish their bodies, they allocate the auspicious fruits of their actions to their followers, to their devotees. Now, what about the fruits of their unmeritorious act? See, although they are yogi, yogi acts in attitude of full detachment as a non-doer. It is possible he is also holder of body, mind, intellect. No, it is possible that while acting through the body, an act of demerit may rarely happen through his body. It is said that the yogi, when he leaves his body, the fruits of such unmeritorious acts, they get allocated to his detractors, to those who condemn or criticize the yogi. So be aware when you use any bad words against a yogi, his unmeritorious act may come back on you. Thus, the yogi settles the account of his auspicious and inauspicious karma and then leaves his body without any baggage. Zero balance. The balance sheet of karma account is thus balanced with no remaining meritorious or unmeritorious fruit of the karma for a yogi. Ordinary people live and die in suffering, whereas a jnani, a yogi, lives his life as a detached non-doer, no kartrutva abhiman, non-doer, no attachment. And when any accrued fruits of karma gets allocated to either to his devotees or his detractors, thus the devotees who love their guru get bliss, and detractors who think ill of him are accorded with pain and misery. So always love your guru, always respect your guru. You get what you want. So be careful what you want, because you will get really that what you have really asked for according to your karmas. There are many messages in this last sloka of Bhagavad-Gītā, this adhyaya, Akshar Brahma Yoga. Wonderful adhyaya this is. Firstly, be in the company of yogis and sages, and that with an attitude of total surrender, samarpan, and faith. For when you slander or malign others, remember that you are attracting inauspicious karma. We don't control our tongue when we are talking bad about others, but we are inviting inauspicious karma by doing this. And we will have to face the music sometime or the other. If not in this life, next life. Karma will never leave us. A single sinful thought will bring along a deluge of evil, wicked, or immoral thoughts. When single immoral thoughts enters our mind, it will be followed by several of such thoughts. The thought never comes alone. And likewise, A single meritorious thought will bring forth several benevolent and uplifting thoughts in our mind. So we should be aware of what we are thinking. If you are sitting idle on the sofa set and your mind is thinking something, guard your mind, what mind is thinking. It is a good thought or bad thought. If it is a good thought, it will bring a lot of good thoughts. If it is a bad thought, it will bring a lot of bad thoughts. Because thoughts have a tendency to form a long chain. They never come alone. They have a tendency to form a long chain. And while some chains can liberate you, others will further entrench you in the bondage. So be watchful of your mind, what your mind is thinking. Second point of this shloka is one should study the scriptures, perform the austerities and charitable acts, because by performing these acts, you are increasing the balance of your merit. But mind you, you should never ever become egoistic, proud of doing these virtuous acts. Because if you do so, your ego gets bolstered, you will be accruing sin only. God does not like any ahankar. And it will collect demerit and not merit. Though act is meritorious, but you are collecting demerit because you have bolstered your ego. Keep on performing the virtuous, righteous acts and keep on praying to the Almighty that knowingly or unknowingly, no act of demerit should ever happen through my body or my mind. Our mind is fickle, fallible, and thus there is always a possibility of going our mind astray. Thus always abide in prayerfulness and beseech the Lord that you never ever drift from the path of spirituality. Implore the Lord for the wisdom to carry out the righteous acts, to think such thoughts which will take you close to the divine, and perform such actions which are in accordance with the divine will. Live your life like a yajna. We are performing yajna by living this life wherein you offer everything, all aspects of your life to the Lord. And abiding in the divine remembrance, even if mistakes happen, learn from them. Don't get nervous. Learn from your mistakes, maintain the awareness so that you don't repeat the mistakes. You are human beings. You are bound to make mistakes. But making mistakes should not stop you from the path of spirituality. We should learn from our mistakes. Thus carry out all appropriate practices and do them joyously. Gita reading should be done joyously. All sadhana paramatma has to be done joyously, not with a nervous or a long face. By chanting God's name, so it is an activity which should be done joyously. Be in the company of yogis and sages and follow what they say. And what do the gurus want from the disciples? What is Krishna is saying? Krishna is saying to Arjuna, all they want is your upliftment, because they have only love in their heart for each and everyone. There was a yogi who used to wander and collect alms, that means bhiksha. Once he stopped outside a house and called out, Om Bhikshan Dehi. So when the owner of that house, he heard this Om Bhikshan Dehi, that owner was in a very bad mood that moment, in a very furious mood. He was sitting in his courtyard and there was a cow tied up nearby him and the cow dung spread all around there. The man picked up the cow dung cake and flung it on the yogi. In yogi's bowl, he flung that cow dung cake. The yogi, in his carefree manner, he called out, may the fruits of this act be eternal. And he went. After a while, the man went inside his house and he asked his wife, the fodder is over for the animals, so are our supplies. So give me some money, I will go and get some fodder for the animals and also some food for us. The wife said, from where should I give you money? You know very well that we have no more money now. The man said, okay, open this box. Maybe there is some money in that box. The wife said, there is nothing in that box also. Then the man said, look in the atta box, that floor box. Ladies have this tendency, to hide something in that floor box. When the box was opened, they found a gold nugget. सोने की मोहर मिली अंदर. The wife wondered, we have sold whatever gold we had, then from where this gold nugget has come in this? Just then, the man's old mother, who had overheard all the conversation, she came and she asked, what did you give to that Mahatma who was there saying Om Bhikshandehi? Believe it or not, it is his prasad. He gave you this gold nugget. The man said, Mother, I threw some cow dung at him. The mother said, Son, you threw cow dung at him. The cow is worshipped as an embodiment of 33 types of gods and goddesses. Possibly, in that sense, the Mahatma uttered those words. In fact, you should have received a curse from him. You threw cow dung at him. You should have received a curse from what you did. Our whole house should have been filled with cow dung. But instead, you found a gold nugget. The man was thoroughly impressed with what had happened, and he ran in search of that Mahatma. Finally, he found him, and he said, I have committed a grave error. Please pardon me. The Mahatma said, Son, had you not found the gold, would you still have come to me asking to be pardoned? And you found the gold nugget and you come here to asking for a pardon. At present, you are not aware that you have committed a sin. The truth is that you are thinking that if upon giving cow dung to this Mahatma, you were rewarded with gold, how much more gold you would have got on serving this Mahatma. This is the thought going on in your mind. You have not come to me out of love, or merit, or to give seva, or to serve. Today too, you have come here with a very selfish motive. But know that you will not receive any more gold now. The essence of the story is that Mahatmas, they bestow love and bliss. They always shower their blessing. This is supremely beneficial to be always in the company of such sages who bless us, who fill us with bliss, with benediction. One should also put their teaching into their practice ongoingly. Every time. Ask your Guru, what is daily routine, what time he wakes up, what is sadhana, what it goes on. The Guru from whom I learned Bhagavad-Gītā, I asked him this question one day, Sir, what time you get up? What do you do till you sleep? He told me the entire routine, what he does. I tried to copy his routine. So if we try to copy, we cannot copy their qualities. But we can copy their timetable, we can copy their behavior, their conduct. So thus Sri Krishna says to Arjuna, you are endeared to me, thus I have revealed to you that by living as I have asked you to, charity, austerity, serving, seva, study of scriptures, sacrifice, yajnas, and performing acts of merit, if you do all this, you will become a yogi and you will attain me. Live your life joyously, abiding in prayerfulness, harboring the firm resolve of becoming a yogi. It is not necessary that a yogi should always go to Himalaya or to some other far distant place. Remaining in samsara, we can become a yogi. Nothing stops us. Follow these few things which Krishna is expecting us to do, and we can become yogi. So dispel the veil of your ignorance and attaining the supreme divinity, become a yogi. So this is the end of this Adhyay 8 Akshar Brahma Yoga. I hope we all of course have gained some tips on how to live the life and how to die. No other Adhyay teaches us how to die. This Adhyay teaches us how to die. Jai Shri Krishna. Now the forum is open for your questions on this entire Adhyay. If you have any, please come forward and ask your questions. Jai Shri Krishna.
Enlightening discourse indeed. Now we open this platform for the questions, and it's a humble request that please raise your hand, keep your questions concise, and kindly enable your camera while speaking. Your presence will be greatly appreciated. Jai Shri Krishna.
Okay. Okay, if any questions, you are most welcome to raise your questions. We can discuss on those points.
जय श्री कृष्ण भैया। जय श्री कृष्ण दीदी।
विकास जी कैसे हैं आप?
अच्छा हूँ भैया, आप कैसे हैं? भैया मैं एक प्रश्न था। आई विल आस्क इन इंग्लिश बिकॉज माय हिंदी इज नॉट दैट ग्रेट।
Okay, no problem.
Vishnu came before Krishna, right?
Yes,
In the avatar, but
yes,
still Krishna is the supreme power, right?
yes.
So how does that work?
See, it is all Vishnu's avatar. Whether it is Sri Ram or whether it is Sri Krishna, whether it is Matsya avatar or Kurma avatar, Nrsimha avatar, these are all Vishnu Rupas only. Now, it is up to you which avatar you want to worship. If you are in love with Sri Ram, Sri Krishna, or whatever avatar Vishnu has taken, then you worship that God. There is a saying in Marathi that Akashat patitam toyam yada gacchati sagaram sarvadeva namaskaram keshavam pratigacchati. Like the water falls from the sky, from the clouds, all over. Some water falls in the cities, in villages, in rivers, in deserts, everywhere it falls. Ultimately, all water that falls on the earth, it reaches the ocean. So similarly, whatever namaskaram you do to your Ishta Devata, your desired deity, it ultimately reaches Vishnu only. So whether you are worshipping Krishna, you are in effect worshipping Vishnu only. But you want to see the form of Krishna because you like Krishna stories, you like Krishna's Bhagavad-Gītā, you like his love for Arjuna, you like his love for Meera and Radha. So all that impresses us, and then we are in love with Krishna. Similarly, we are in love with Sri Rama for the beautiful stories of Sri Rama in Sri Ramayana. So it is up to us. But ultimately, we are worshipping Vishnu only. Which form you worship is up to you.
But there's another possibility in my mind. I would like to present that to you. I'm not telling it's wrong or right or anything, but it's possible when Vishnu was born, the level of the adharma was not so high. But when Krishna was born, he had to take the full form of himself. So
No.
he was born. So it's like a son being greater than the father,
No, it's
which
not
is
there.
right.
There is some misunderstanding. Okay. See, Lord Vishnu is eternal, imperishable. He is not born. Anything that gets born, it dies also. Sri Krishna took a birth. Ultimately, he has to relinquish his body. After 125 years, okay, but he has to relinquish. Shri Ram, born as a human being, he also had to relinquish his body. So anything that gets born has to die. Today, can we see Krishna? We cannot see Lord Krishna today because he is no more as Krishna. Yes, his eternal form, of course, is there. Nirgun Nirakar form of Krishna in the form of Lord Vishnu, of course, it is there. That's why we still worship Krishna because he is eternally still there. But in body form, is he there? He is not there.
Not
So
there.
that's why I say, if you say that Lord Vishnu was born and then Lord Vishnu is not born, he is there since time immemorial and then he is eternal. Anything that gets born, it dies also, no?
Right. That's
Anything
true.
that gets born and does not die, there is nothing in this world. Even Brahmadeva gets born and he also perishes after 311 trillion and 40 billion years, but he perishes. No? But Lord Vishnu is the only one that after all things perish in this universe, he is the only thing that remains. He is the only entity that remains. Even Brahmadeva perishes. So after Brahmadeva perishes, he is the only entity, Lord Vishnu, that remains and that creates another Brahmadeva and another universe and the whole thing continues again. So that
I
is
have
pity.
I have read somewhere that each Brahmanda has the three devatas, right? Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, right? So when the one Brahmanda collapses, that Vishnu, Brahma, and they become part of Krishna, and there'll be all others still there, right? So how does that view match with this?
See, last time we discussed, I think, one story of Indra, that there are so many Indras. Indra wanted to build a palace through Vishwakarma and all that story. If you remember, we read in second session of this Adhyaya. So there are so many Indras. There are so many Vishwakarmas also. Likewise, there are so many Brahmadevas also who create the universe. But there is only one creator, that is the Lord Vishnu. That is only one. There are not many Vishnus. If you have heard this, that there are many Vishnus, then that is wrong. Vishnu is only one. Brahmandas, universes are many, galaxies are many. There are 14 bhuvanas, 7 above the earth and 7 down the earth, whom we call as what we call as heavens and hells. But everything that gets developed or get manifested in those lokas has to perish, including the Brahma loka. Brahma bhuvana loka punaravartin orjuna. Mam petu to konteya punarjanmana vidyate. This is what we learned in this adhyaya. All the lokas up to Brahma loka, they perish. And they are bound to get returned to this mortal world. Only my place is such that if you come to my place, then you don't have to take the rebirth again. You and me will stay together forever. So that place is different than the universe or from the Brahmanda. All Brahmanda is perishable.
Okay. Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, if there are no questions.
Lalita Didi, please ask your question. Lalita Didi.
जय श्री कृष्णा सर।
जय श्री कृष्ण।
एक क्वेश्चन आया, मैं एकादशी के दिन फ्रॉम 1 to अध्याय 1 to 18th रीडिंग कर रही हूँ सर। तो मेरे को एक डाउट आया, ये रीडिंग करने से घर में क्या लड़ाया होता है क्या बोल के ऐसा युद्ध करो बोल के इसमें रहता ना, उसके लिए थोड़ा डाउट आया। ये रीडिंग करने से तो लड़ाइयाँ होते क्या घर में ऐसा?
घर में शांति आएगी आपके, आप इसको पढ़ते रहिए, आपके घर में परम शांति आएगी। यदि आप गीता का पाठ कर रही हैं तो गीता विल ब्रिंग पीस टू योर हाउस।
ओके ओके सर। फ्रॉम फर्स्ट से पढ़ सकते हैं, नहीं तो फर्स्ट का चैप्टर छोड़ देना पढ़ने के लिए?
नहीं, फर्स्ट चैप्टर से पढ़ना। फर्स्ट चैप्टर इज द बेस। Why Gita was said by Arjuna, by Shri Krishna to Arjuna, because the first chapter, it enumerates all the qualities of human beings which are existing today also. Raga, Dvesha, Moha, Matsar, these are all the descriptions in first Adhyaya. They are available today also, no? So the purpose of Gita is that only.
Okay. From first to 18 पढ़ सकते हैं।
Yes.
और ये पढ़ने से क्या होता है? कुछ
क्या होता है मतलब, you go closer and closer to Krishna, you become a devotee of Krishna.
ओके सर, वही डाउट था सर।
ऐसा आप कभी मत सोचिए कि गीता पढ़ने से घर में झगड़ा हो जाएगा, ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं होता है। गीता पढ़ने से मन को शांति मिलती है, घर में शांति मिलती है।
ओके सर, धन्यवाद सर।
धन्यवाद भैया।
हेलो
भैया पूछिए।
हाँ सर, पूछना था, ये अक्षर ब्रह्म योग अवतरणिका में उसका वर्डिंग है अथाष्टमोध्यायः। एंड व्हेयरएज पुष्पिका में है अष्टमोध्याय।
इट इज वन द सेम। अथाष्टमो एंड अष्टमो, इट इज वन द सेम। फॉर सिंपलर संस्कृत प्रोनाउंसिएशन वी से अष्टमो, बिकॉज अष्टम इज 8।
अष्टम इज 8, ओके करेक्ट।
सो अथाष्टमो इज लिटिल कॉम्प्लिकेटेड।
म्हणजे दोघांचा अर्थ एकच, दोनों का
अर्थ एकच आहे। आपण अष्टमोध्यायच म्हणायला पाहिजे।
अष्टमोध्याय, ओके 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 ओके, ठीक है, धन्यवाद। जय श्री कृष्ण।
संतोष भैया।
जय श्री कृष्ण भैया। Thank you for a very beautiful explanation to us. First of all, भैया, this brewer मध्ये प्राणमावेश सम्यक. So taking the prana into Agya Chakra here. So
Yeah.
how can this conceive? It is not, I'm not able to conceive this, how this process work. Is it, and second, is it only for yogis or is it also for common man? And is it only for prayana kale where it starts, or is it something to practice all the time?
Okay. Second question first. It is to
Okay.
be practiced. It is to be practiced throughout the life.
Mhm.
If you feel that at the end of life you will suddenly get this skill to bring the Bhruvar Madhya Prana, then it is not correct. It doesn't happen suddenly. As I told you one story of a Mahatma in Pune who is opening this Brahmarandra in his yogi practice. And when you look at his head, it looks as if he has a tumor here or what. Because he's opening this head by bringing the prana Bhruvar Madhya and taking it up to this. See, Bhruvar Madhya, as I said, the point is not here, Bhruvar Madhya, but if you draw a line from here to the back of head and from the Agya Chakra downwards, wherever it meets, that point is Bhruvar Madhya. And as I said, there are three nadis we have. One is Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. So Ida nadi is our left nostril. Pingala is our right nostril. And then they are in the left side and the right side of our spinal cord. Sushumna is in the center of the spinal cord. So this Sushumna takes our prana vayu, prana, up to that chakra, up to that Brahmarandra. So this practice is to be done throughout the life for as many years as we have understood this process. So that at the end of life, if we remember to do this, at least mentally, as I said last time, the body, when the last moment of life comes, may not be very strong enough to do all these actions, what we have discussed. It may not be able to sit in Siddhasana or Padmasana, not possible. So mentally these actions are to be done. And if you have followed these actions throughout the life for 10, 20, 25 years in your life, then even if you do it mentally, it will have the same effect as if you have done it physically. Because ultimately what you do through your body has an effect on mind. What you do in your mind has an effect on your body. Isn't it? So if you are doing it mentally also, at the end of life, it will have effect. But this practice to be done for many, many years. And it is better to learn this technique from a yogi. By merely listening this Vivechana from me, you cannot attain this Bhruvar Madhya and bring it here. I am just explaining you the process. But somebody has to sit close to you, somebody sits in front of you and monitors you, how you breathe, how you do that nadi shodhan pranayam, how do you bring this Bhruvar Madhya and then how do you take it up. These are the skillful techniques which one has to do.
Yeah. So, okay, that's clear now. Actually, it is not only at the last moment, it's not only for yogi, it's for everybody, and we have to learn it actually to really conceive that how to do that from the trained yogis. Yeah.
Or if we cannot learn this, then Paramatma has given another alternative. Ananya Cheta Satatin Yomam Smriti Nityashaha. Tasyam Sulabh Partha Nitya Yuktasya Yogina. Those who cannot follow this Ashtanga Yoga and devotion, for them Paramatma has given this another alternative. Ananya Cheta Satatai. Ananya, that means without getting your mind focused here and there, focused only on me, Satatam and Nityam. If you worship me, then I'm easily attainable. Tasyam Sulabh Partha. This is another way of attaining Paramatma. Ultimately, our objective is to attain Paramatma. Whether we attain it through Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, whatever yoga we follow, Paramatma is attainable. And in Gita, we get so many tips from Lord Krishna as to how to attain Paramatma. Whichever way you like, it is okay for us. In 7th sloka of this adhyaya only, we have said, Mahaman Uspari Yuddhicha. You remember me and keep performing your kartavya karma, your prescribed duty. If you follow this one charan of this sloka, 7th sloka of this adhyaya, Maman Usman and Vidyacha, that is a golden rule for human beings. We do our karma, and while doing karma, we keep remembering God. Easy. So this is another way of attaining God. So in Gita, if you scan through all the adhyayas, you will find many shlokas which tell you how to attain God. In 12th adhyaya there are many, 15th adhyaya there are many, 9th adhyaya there are there, 2nd adhyaya there are there. So if we read those shlokas and do some manan chintan contemplation and then decide which way is easy for me. For me, I think the 7th sloka of this adhyaya, Mamanasi Vidyacha, is the best way. Because we cannot avoid doing karma. Body is doing karma. Paramatma says, let your body do the karma. Mentally you remain attached to me. That is good enough for me. Let the body do its work. You are doing work for your material work. Okay, fine, let it do it. But mentally you should be attached to me. If we can follow this principle, then also it is okay for Krishna. He said, even then you can attain me. Because while doing this, Mayar Pitamano Buddhi, that means we surrender our mind and our intellect to Lord Krishna. Because when mind is surrendered to him, obviously the intellect also gets surrendered to him. So the Indriya senses, they continue to interact with their sense objects. Eyes are there, they will continue to see. Ears are there, they continue to hear. So all those Indriyas will continue to function according to the sense objects. But the mind and intellect should be surrendered to Paramatma. And Mama Anusmar, Paramatma, we should keep remembering that God. If we follow this principle of 7th sloka, we have done it. We have learned Gita then, I would say.
Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna.
जी शीला दीदी पूछिए आप.
Any more questions?
जी भैया, one question is there. शीला
आवाज आ
दीदी,
रही है मेरी? मेरी
Yes,
आवाज आ रही है भैया?
आ रही है दीदी, आ रही है, पूछिए आप.
अच्छा, मेरा विजन चला गया भैया. इसका मतलब ये मुझे दिख नहीं रहा है, मैं वैसे बोलती हूँ.
नहीं,
जी
कोई बात
भैया,
नहीं. हाँ,
जय
बोलिए.
श्री कृष्ण भैया.
जय
भैया
श्री
मुझे
कृष्ण.
पूछना है, जैसे हमें स्टडी करना चाहिए या मतलब जो सुनने में मिलता है, जैसे और भी कोई सत्संग है या कोई यूट्यूब में भी हम कोई अच्छी चीज सुनते हैं जैसे, तो उसको सुनना चाहिए या इसका स्टडी स्टडी वैसे बुक से स्टडी करें? क्योंकि ऐसा होता है कि अगर हम पढ़ते हैं तो सुना नहीं जाता, सुना जाता है तो पढ़ा नहीं जाता, टाइम कम हो जाता है.
हम्म.
तो
आप
सुनना ज्यादा.
हाँ, आप जिस चीज को मन से कर सकते हैं, यदि आप सुनने में आपका पूरा ध्यान लगा सकते हैं तो सुनते रहिए. यदि आप पढ़ने में पूरा ध्यान से पढ़ सकते हैं तो पढ़ते रहिए. जो भी कर रहे हैं उसमें हमारा पूरा ध्यान होना चाहिए. ये एक कंडीशन है, बाकी कुछ कंडीशन नहीं है. आप पढ़िए या सुनिए या कुछ भी करिए, लेकिन उसमें पूरा ध्यान से करना है. जो भी करना है, वो जो पढ़ते हैं, जो सुनते हैं, वो हमारे दिमाग में फिट बैठना चाहिए. कि हमने आंखें बंद कर दी, हमने तो हमको ध्यान में आना चाहिए कि हमने क्या सुना है, हमने क्या पढ़ा है. ताकि उसके ऊपर हमको मनन चिंतन करना है. सिर्फ पढ़ के और सुन के छोड़ना नहीं है उसको. उसके ऊपर हमारा स्वयं का मनन चिंतन होना चाहिए कि ये जो पढ़ा है, वो जो सुना है, उसका मैं कैसा अर्थ निकालता हूँ, मेरे लिए वो क्या मायने रखता है, उससे उसके कारण मेरा जीवन कैसे बदल सकता है. तो उसके ऊपर मनन चिंतन करना, यह हमारा उद्देश्य है. सिर्फ सुनना या पढ़ना नहीं है. पढ़ना सुनना तो एक माध्यम है, सिर्फ ज्ञान प्राप्त करने का एक माध्यम है. वो ज्ञान प्राप्त करने के बाद में उसके ऊपर मनन चिंतन करना, ये सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है. यदि वो मनन चिंतन करेंगे तो हमको समझ में आएगा ना कि गीता हमारे जीवन में कैसे लाएंगे हम लोग. तो पढ़िए, सुनिए, जो भी करे. कई लोग तो पढ़ते भी है, सुनते भी है, सब करते हैं. तो भगवत गीता ऐसा है कि आप कितने लोगों से भी सुनिए, कितने लोगों से कितने की लोगों की किताबें पढ़ी हैं, सब अलग अलग अर्थ निकालते हैं. क्योंकि सबका माइंड अलग रहता है, सबकी बुद्धिमत्ता अलग अलग स्तर की होती है. तो एक श्लोक के अनेक अर्थ निकाले जा सकते हैं. तो वो सब पढ़िए, सब सुनिए, आपको कौन सा अर्थ भाता है, जिसके ऊपर आप मनन चिंतन करके अपना जीवन सुधार सकते हैं, वो अर्थ ले लीजिए आप और उसके पीछे
सर
लग जाइए.
सुधार की तो कोई वैसे लिमिट नहीं है सर, कितना भी पढ़े तो
हाँ,
असंतुष्टि ही रहती है कि
संतुष्टि, हाँ, वो तो वो अच्छी चीज है. ये एक बार
जी सर.
संतुष्टि आ गई मन में, तो आगे के सब हमारे उपाय बंद हो जाते हैं. जिस दिन ऐसा लगता है कि हाँ, मैंने सब पा लिया. अभी गीता परिवार में ऐसे बहुत लोग होते हैं कि जो गीता व्रती बन जाते हैं, उनको लगता है हमको गीता आ गई. ऐसा नहीं है. गीता व्रती बनने से
जी
गीता नहीं आती है. गीतावर्ती बनने से आपको गीता का उच्चारण आ गया है, गीता का कंठस्थीकरण हो गया है. कंठस्थीकरण होने के बाद में हृदयस्थ होना चाहिए ना. कंठस्थ हो गई, हृदयस्थ हुई है क्या? हृदयस्थ हो गई गीता तो फिर हमारे जीवन में उतर सकती है. कंठस्थ होने से जीवन में नहीं उतरेगी वो.
सर,
हृदयस्थ होना चाहिए.
पढ़ने से तो सर प्रोसेस थोड़ी सी स्लो होती है, क्योंकि हमको कोई भी प्रेरणा एकदम से मिल नहीं पाती, उसमें अगर रेफरेंस ना हो तो हम दूसरी किताबों को नहीं देख सकते. लेकिन सुनने से होता है, जैसे कई पुस्तकों का रेफरेंस जो जो वक्ता होता है वो कई किताबों को या कई कहानियों को बीच में बताता है, तो वो रेफरेंस से हम उसको भी ढूंढ लेते हैं,
तो
इसलिए
अच्छी बात है
सुनना
ना.
जरूरी है.
गीता परिवार ने ये विवेचन सत्र क्यों लगाए हैं, चालू किए हैं? वो इसीलिए किए कि एक लोग के उसके हिसाब से कोई उसके लिए एक आधी कथा है तो बताने के वो बताई तो फिर वो कथा और वो श्लोक दोनों ध्यान में रह जाते। तो इसलिए मेरा ऐसा एक उद्देश्य होता है कि श्लोक के साथ कुछ तो भी कथा जोड़ के उसको बताया जाए, ताकि आपको उसका अर्थ समझ में आ सके। ओके, सॉरी इमरान जी, द क्वेश्चन वाज इन हिंदी, सो आई हैव टू रिप्लाई इन हिंदी।
अपूर्वा दीदी।
हाँ, जय श्री कृष्ण भैया. My question is, see, our body, you just mentioned that it has the sense organs, it has to do its own job. But it also has Jivatma, and then we carry the um, whatever we have done from previous births to this birth. So if body is doing the job, and when we die the body is left, whereas the soul is just passes from one body to another, how does the karma also pass with it?
See, we have three bodies. We have three bodies. एक होता है स्थूल शरीर, एक होता है सूक्ष्म शरीर, और एक होता है कॉजल बॉडी। तो ये जो कॉजल बॉडी होता है ना, कारण शरीर, कारण शरीर जो होता है ना, वो कारण शरीर में हमारे सब कर्मों का बैलेंस शीट होता है। हमारे सारे संस्कार उसमें रजिस्टर हो जाते हैं हमारे कारण शरीर में, कॉजल बॉडी में। तो दिस कॉजल बॉडी is the one which is responsible for us to take the next birth according to the notings that have been done in this current sharir, in this causal body. If our karmas are good, we get a good yoni. If our karmas are bad, we get a lower yoni. So when the soul leaves this body, it lives along with this causal body, current sharir. Soul is not attached to anything. Soul is independent. Soul is eternal, immortal. It is the current sharir, the causal body, that carries this balance sheet of our karmas and samskars to the next body. Soul is getting just transferred from this to that, but it is the causal body that decides our qualification of getting next yoni, next birth, whether we will get in the higher level or in the middle level or in the lower level. Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha, madhya tishthanti rajasa, jagannagun vritistha, adho gachanti tamasa. So if we are adhogati, then our causal body will have very bad record of our karmas, very bad samskars. If we are madhya, then it is having so rajasi karma. If we are doing exceedingly well, sattvic karmas, then urdhvam gachanti. Then we go to upper level. But all this is registered in our causal body, in our current sharir. So the soul accepts that body which the current sharir qualifies us to accept.
Okay.
Okay.
So so the current sharir is not the body that we are in.
No. Causal sharir is not body. It is only a file, enclosed file to the soul, I would say.
Okay.
It is a file enclosed to the soul.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Bhaiya.
Anjana Didi, please proceed.
Vikas Bhaiya, there is one question dropped by Sushma Didi. Is there any difference between Jivatma and soul? She did drop a question in the chat.
See, Jivatma, soul are interchangeable terminologies. Our Jivatma is a fragment of Paramatma. Our soul is also a fragment of Paramatma. So soul and Jivatma are interchangeable terms. Some people call it Jivatma, some people call it soul. So Jivatma is our eternal existence. When the body drops dead, the Jivatma or the soul, whatever you call it, it leaves that body, and then the body drops dead. That soul of that Jivatma, it attains another body. So that Jivatma or soul is not dependent on body. Body is dependent on it. Body gets all its chetana, all its moving ability if the Jivatma or soul is there in that. Soul does not get anything from the body. Body gets everything from the soul or from Jivatma. So body and soul and Jivatma are interchangeable terms.
Hope Sushma Didi, you got your answer. for your question. Thanks for your question. And as we conclude the discourse, it's time for gratitude now. Sincere appreciation to Shri Vikas Vaidya Bhaiya for his priceless wisdom that he shared with us today. I extend my heartfelt thanks to the technical team, Deepak Bhaiya, and all those who are working relentlessly in the background for the unwavering dedication and efforts, ensuring that we get a positive outcome from this session. I extend my heartfelt thanks to all who joined today's session. Keep pursuing your Gita sadhana and participate in these sessions to deepen our spiritual wisdom. And hope, with this deep appreciation, I invite Subhashini Didi, a dedicated member of Gita Pariwar since November 2023, hailing from Chennai. She is a homemaker with a deep love for music and dance. She actively serves as a co-trainer, technical assistant, and a group coordinator, contributing selflessly to our Gita Pariwar community. So let us now listen to her lead us in the prayer, invoking divine blessings from Krishna for peace and prosperity. And we will be following the prayer with Hanuman Chalisa recital as well.
Didi, shall I start Yogesam?
Hey.
Yes.
Thank you. Yogesham Sachidanandam Vasudevam Rajapriyam Dharma Samstapakam Veeram Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Shri Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna. Hari Om.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरन रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही समभाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरै हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
Thank you for being here for Hanuman Chalisa. May the wisdom of Geeta enlighten our paths. We look forward to seeing you next week for another transformative session in the anticipation of next gathering. Jai